Hey guys, we'll get started in just a minute or two. AR, why don't you try talking?
Take one. Check, check, check. Mic check.
You sound good. Dev,
Oh, okay. Surprised.
The rain smells so nice. I'm so relieved. It's been so hot all day.
I had to crack a window open.
yeah, it is been a long week.
I have to. I have to figure out how open I can get the window to let the air in without the cats batting at the screen.
See, realistically, here's what you want to do. I have noise reduction on you. You want a nice small fan near you in the future.
Yeah,
Because I have noise reduction on you. Something
I'm
like that.
fine. The window's right behind me. It's
Okay.
letting the air in. I'm fine.
Okay.
It's doing its job.
Okay, everyone can
But
be heard.
cats.
Okay, you guys ready to go?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the With the Will podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Marker, run with the Will, and produce Digimon on Blu-ray.
I'm AR Pulver, and we hope to stay with you this week.
I'm DevQ and I'm melting.
Yeah, we should probably start there with what happened last time. The encoder actually crashed midstream, which just means the stream went bleh.
It died.
When I recorded the message, we were under the impression that part of it was we didn't restart it quickly enough, but I think because the encoder crashed, we never would have actually been able to restart it because it required programs to be closed and reopened, which would have changed the output. So I
Did
think
not get rehatched into a digi-egg. It's
yeah.
just permadeath. It's tamers.
Yeah,
Leomon is dead.
that is the only time I've ever actually seen the encoder crash on OBS on the 3 different computers it's been used on for the show at different times. But we
It has to die a
yeah,
horrible death once in a while.
but we clipped it together as best we could, and hooray!
Huzzah.
I'm not sure if it was shorter because we didn't have people in the chat asking questions, or because there wasn't a whole lot of news last week
I
compared to this week.
I think we would have got another 10 or 15 minutes out of it. I think also by the time we figured out what was going on, we all mentally were in the state of, okay, let's just go.
Yeah, but it took us 10 minutes to figure out to sort through what was going on.
Yeah.
I also think I wanted ice cream. I can't
I mean,
remember.
I always
Yeah.
want ice cream at the end of the show.
It has been a week for they really decided this was the week when, oh, we better start teasing shit because stuff's coming up. And before we get into all that, hey, it's a Ghost Game episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot there
Yeah.
was an episode.
I don't see. I still like that the argument point between me and AR from Twitter is he thinks this is worse than last week's, and I just kind of go meh. But also, until I was putting together the notes to actually be uploaded, and was checking stuff from the prior notes to make sure they matched it, I actually remember that Splashmon was last week. Like I had no memory. like sitting there trying to remember last week's episode, I couldn't remember what the episode was about at all until I actually saw Splashmon when I was checking something.
I think that in spite of Splashmon, last week was more competently put together as a horror adjacent story than this week.
I don't know. I thought it was
It had more
okay.
yokai vibes.
I have no idea
Yeah.
what you just said, Dev.
It had more yokai vibes.
Yeah. That's
I think
sort of
this-
how I felt.
I don't know. I thought this one was okay, but that may just be like
Stockholm syndrome.
maybe.
I don't know. Juromon was like more interesting in his like behavior and motivations than Splashmon, so he's like more entertaining to watch.
That's not a high bar to clear.
I think.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree with you. Suramon was more interesting than Splashmon, but I think everything surrounding him was more of a disaster.
I'm mentally looking at my rankings, and I'm pretty sure Ghost Game is now going below Hunters.
Ooh, Hunters. That's harsh.
Well, Ghost Game has a disadvantage against Hunters at this point. Hunters is old enough that
stopped.
Hunters. Well, that's one. Is that it's short, and two.
Hunters was done by now.
And two, when so much time has passed, you can look back and go, it wasn't great, but it did a few interesting things and tried new stuff. While this, it's like, oh, there's more.
I think in 5 years we'll be looking at Ghost Game the same way, but as it is now, it's
Well,
just sort of
here's the thing. We don't
blah.
know. For all we know, this is floating, doing nothing while they wait for something that they need, like timing for shit to happen. I'm not saying I
Maybe,
expect that, but
yeah.
other shows have done that where something is spinning its wheels because they have to wait. I'm pretty sure.
Adventure did with those
No, but
Precious Gem figure releases.
Yeah, those happened. But I'm talking about stuff like, what was it? Was it Naruto where there was filler for like a year and a half while they were waiting
Well, they were
for.
trying to catch up to the manga, or
No,
waiting for the manga to
but
catch up.
that's what I
Though.
mean. Like they let their wheels spin a long
There is
time.
not a Ghost Game manga to catch up.
No.
I had accused the reboot of doing that as well.
I think
it was doing a lot of repetition.
I think this is worse at this point because at least the reboot was exciting. If nothing else, it at least had exciting stuff to watch. Here, the most interesting visual, I thought the mask visual was neat. It wasn't inherently special, but it was at least neat.
Yeah, that didn't do as much for me as some of the other body horror images we've had in the past. I think that Ghost Game at its worst and Adventure Reboot at its worst are about equally bad at this point. But I think Ghost Game still has. Yeah, I think Ghost Game still has the potential to get it together eventually.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I also think the logic's flawed for one reason. While you're absolutely right, that can be said of any show that's spinning horribly wrong at times.
I guess the other way I take it is that like if someone really likes Hunters, I'm sort of behind that because Hunters like is bad, but it's also kind of bad in a weird way. Ghost Game is also to me kind of bad in a weird way. Like it's a departure from your usual Digimon series more than like the reboot, which is just not that interesting.
I'm not sure this is that much of a departure, especially when so often Hunters keeps coming up as a point of comparison in how things are structured, kind of the same, but not even as good. Although I will say,
Ghost Game is definitely structured better than Hunters.
No, I don't think it is at this point.
It is to me because it does have the horror elements to lean on, like the horror homages and the pastiches and the little body horror stuff. I do get a kick out of that, and that's more. It's more consistent. It's more consistently delivered in Ghost Game than it was in Hunters. Also, the problem with Hunters is it constantly devoted itself to other characters that are just not that interesting, rather than developing the main cast. And while Ghost Game isn't developing the main cast as fast as we would like, they're still trying to. I'm
letting you talk because you're actually proving the point. Ghost Game has turned so boring, we're actually not even talking about the episode at all.
Oh yeah, no, this episode was pretty flat.
Yeah.
This episode is I think this tied for the worst episode grade.
I don't think it was that bad, but man, also, why was Kongomon there? I forgot if he had any point.
Like, he didn't do shit except like.
No, he did. The pocket dimension. The pocket dimension was him.
He was a walking closet.
Yes, but yeah. So we have a Suramon taking the faces.
Kongomon was the TARDIS,
so he could feel emotion, which is a very oddly specific. This is a plot done in sci-fi and stuff. Like that is a very specific plot.
It's also like immediately clicks in your head that this is going to be one of those they talk their way out of it endings.
Yes, especially when they stop at one point to tell you he's normally such a good Digimon of justice. I wonder what's happened.
Yeah, that's bad vibes right there. Yeah.
And then, hey, at least for a second time now, they decided something might be Digimon related, which was at least nice. Although I'm very confused what was the plot thing that people apparently didn't notice this was happening, even though it was very easy to see on someone. I'm confused what was going on there.
I think the excuse was it wasn't showing up on social media specifically because.
But I'm saying why wasn't it? Because
what are you talking about?
There was a small plot point where humans were not noticing this happening and it wasn't showing up on social media. But like when you see someone, their face is missing. You're not gonna miss that.
I think
I think the excuse is they became tired and reclusive and just
they
didn't post.
They stopped posting on social media, so nobody was noticing that people's faces were missing because nobody was Instagramming themselves without a face. It was that wasn't great. It was sort of that's trailed off into nowhere.
Okay, I thought there was like some plot point I was missing. No, they didn't do it.
No, that was just the specific intricacies of this particular crisis lent itself to not be on Instagram, as opposed to Vamdemon, where everyone was clearly vampires.
And then Kana Weissman de-evolves mid-fight with Asuramon, and we actually talked about this last week. Are we meant to take this as being some sort of plot element, or was it just evolution?
Usually I give these kind of things the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, ooh, potential intrigue. This time I'm just like, no, I'm not feeling it.
Or did they just want to have the beeping, since if there wasn't a delay, this would have come out a couple weeks before the Ultraman movie came out? Because that was like the Ultraman style beeping, which oddly I'm not sure if that happens in the movie because he doesn't have the chest gem.
I'm not. Yeah, I can't speculate on this one.
It would be interesting if it was a plot point that will come back up later.
But the show I know what you're saying, Dev, but it's the case where you hope it does, but also the show has not shown any interest in doing that.
Yeah, I mean, this one kind of failed on a bunch of those, so...
Yeah, the reboot was really bad on it, and Ghost Game's not doing a whole lot better.
I'm not sure it's doing any better, to be honest, on that specific point, I mean.
I'm not giving up on a few of them.
The dim cards. It's like, oh, they're just postcards from Dad.
Yeah.
But that's about as fulfilling an explanation as, it's a map.
But I mean, like, I do expect the letter to come back into play at some point.
That would be very nice, because that was actually cute. As many problems as that episode had, the idea that he just had the letter with him was good.
Yeah, and then and that's which actually leads me to one of my bigger frustrations with this episode. It's like this one felt like really picking on Hero's character flaw, while it's sort of like we've had a lot of decent-ish development of Hero over the last 10-ish episodes, particularly with the Hero. And here's you kind of a doormat, and I'm like, what did he do?
But without the doormat, the day wouldn't have been saved, because Asuramon takes his face, and the spirit of friendship and brotherhood and the pleas of Angormon convince Asuramon with Hero's emotion to return the faces. And
if Hunters had pulled that crap when they picked on one of Tagiru's faults to save the world, I'd be all behind that. But for Hero, it just seems kind of mean.
And then
I know, but it's still funny.
And then we get to see Jellymon drawing a face on Kiyoshiro and being perfectly happy with that solution.
I think
to go and take care of my partner. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, that's
goes
one of those
up Jigglypuff on him.
It's one of those things where Ghost Game is allowed, like, every episode's going to have like one or two Gamamon or Jellymon does something cute/funny, and we just sort of accept those and bake those into every episode. And at some point, we're just not going to grade based on those.
And there's a 99% chance that if you go check Urusei Yatsura, that joke probably appears somewhere in it with Lum.
I don't know. Were they doing those cutesy anime eyes in the 80s?
They were definitely doing it in the early 90s. So
yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the reboot of that anime. It will be very strange to see that in the modern age when so much anime stuff, even ignoring Ghost Game, is based on that stuff very directly.
Lum needs to take some kids to school.
Yeah. And Hero has no idea what's going on. I actually like that, where he's that
was solid.
Yeah. And then Angormon points that he can come to the meetings and he can learn emotions. Hero still doesn't know what's going on. And he actually seems a little annoyed by it, which was funny.
I do like it when Hero gets annoyed by stuff. Like his exasperation.
He doesn't do it enough.
Yeah, I do like it when Hero gets exasperated by stuff, because that seems to be his signature thing. And I'm here for that protagonist. Yeah.
And then we finish with Angormon Puffery.
As we do.
See, I still rank it. What I wrote is it's perfectly fine, I guess. Like it wasn't terrible to me, but it wasn't good either. It just existed mostly. There was like 30 seconds of nice animation towards the end. The pacing was really strange, though. I think.
Yeah,
I would say not bad, but it's not good either.
Yeah, the overall storytelling and the hero doormat stuff just didn't. There's a bit of a sour taste for me.
I can't even tell if hero doormat is a thing or if that's just the character at this point. Like that's pretty much just the character. It's not like
it would be like if this had been like if this episode had happened like right after say like Jellymon had been introduced and we were still like getting comfortable with the characters, I'd be a lot more tolerant to this episode. But it's like it's episode 28. Give the kid a break.
Yeah, it's weird because it doesn't feel like it feels like this is roughly the same character we had in episode 2 or 3 when in episode 1 he actually was like different.
Yeah.
Yeah, some habits are hard to kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that he's shaken this completely. It's just spotlighting this particular trait at this point in the series just doesn't I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, it was
It was there.
And then let's go over the actors. Mushmon was Naoki Tatsuta, who was Ganamon in Hunters, Garbamon in Adventure 2020, and Monotamon earlier in Ghost Game. Most people would probably know him as Oolong from Dragon Ball, and he's taken over various roles from there. And the Japanese voice of Porky Pig, which feels too on the nose with him playing Oolong. Like, that's too on the nose. And then Asuramon had 3 voice actors, each very famous for each voice.
That was kind of a nice touch.
That was interesting.
So Anger was Tesho Genda, who has not been in Digimon before, but he was Umi Bozu in City Hunter, a bunch of Dragon Ball characters. He was D in Project A-ko. He's been Guile various times. The younger Taguro, since we're, I think, the 30th anniversary of Yu Yu Hakusho, like today or tomorrow. He also is Mace Windu in Star Wars, Batman in the animated series stuff in Japan. Just
I think with these credits we need to get into like 1 or 2 weird Western ones.
I know. Oh, there's plenty of those here.
I feel like throwing 1 or 2 into all these.
He's Kratos, and he's also Optimus Prime / Convoy.
I think Mace Windu was the best one.
And then Blessing is Toshihiko Seki, who was Lucimon in Save Us Another Mission.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, he's Aleister Crowley in Index. He's in Demon Slayer. He's an odd number of characters in Gundam. He was Rao Lacrescent, Ray Zabarel, Duo Maxwell. In some content, he's been Char.
Oh, okay.
He was.
It gets around.
Yeah, he was Moose in Ranma 1/2. And are you ready for some Western stuff? So in some Batman content, he's the Scarecrow. Most noticeably, Batman Begins. He's Mondo Gecko in the original Ninja Turtle cartoon. And are you ready for the best one?
Yeah.
John Arbuckle. In Garfield stuff.
Old Garfield or new Garfield?
I don't remember at the moment, to be quite honest.
Okay.
And then Mercy was Takumi Yamazaki, who was Katsuji in 1 episode of Hunters. I don't even remember who Katsuji is. He's very much a 1 episode character, I believe.
This is he's one of the characters I'd mentioned previously as not interesting.
And he's another one who has a cartoonish number of roles. The Cyborg Ninja / Gray Fox in Metal Gear, Banzai in Gintama. And now I'm looking through to find some Western roles just to comment on. Oh my god, are you ready?
Yep.
Chicken in Cow and Chicken.
Oh my fucking god.
That got dubbed in Japanese.
Wait, okay. Oh, okay, are you ready? You're not even going to see this one coming. He's Philip in South Park.
You know, that's only interesting in the sense that they only have 1 actor that's his only South Park role.
Well, no, he has a second credit. Are you ready? He's credited as theme song performance for South Park the movie, which makes me wonder if it's just him singing Uncle Fucker.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say
the actual theatrical movie.
Because the South Park, because they didn't play the theme song at all.
Yeah.
In the South
So
Park
I'm wondering
movie.
if, because it just says,
just sang,
it literally just says theme performance. I'm wondering if that's just for Uncle Fucker.
Probably just for Uncle Fucker.
Which is hilarious.
That one should have got the Emmy nod, not Blame Canada.
Oh God.
I have quite an appreciation for the South Park movie.
Yeah. Oh, that is a good movie.
One of the best animated musicals.
But yeah, so lots of stuff there to amuse by. The next time we get Monster Pollen,
I'm just sort of amazed that they have that implies that there's like every different character is voiced by someone different in South Park.
That could be terrifying. Mm-hmm. And then for Monster Pollen next week, we get the question of, didn't we already do Spider and Plant episodes?
Right?
Like, here's the thing. If it's interesting, I don't give a shit.
It's allergy season.
Here's the thing.
So.
If it's interesting, we don't give a shit.
If it's bad, Spider episode was pretty good.
If it has an issue, then we just go, why are they doing these again? And not even that long after. I mean, the one was episode 21, the other was episode 25.
Yeah, our Kennymon nostalgia, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so hyped to see Kodokugamon because, like, oh my god, it's the baby!
Yeah. Not 02 nostalgia. I'm talking about nostalgia for like 8 episodes ago. That one episode where people got beheaded.
That one episode that generally everyone agreed was good, which has not happened for months.
Well, they had a hiatus.
The hiatus was like 3 weeks.
Also, people like the Angoramon episode. That was generally received well. The Digitamamon episode was good.
I would say the Angoramon episode wasn't received as well as you think it was because a lot of people were very upset that he didn't evolve.
No, that's fine.
Oh, I saw a lot of complaints about that. Like,
yeah, I'm saying they're wrong.
And then
it needs more trauma.
And then we don't quite get to move on from Ghost Game yet. Psycho Jump has a teaser for a new Digimon named Espimon, which is a weird little squirrel robot alien thing.
This is what happens when you're out of town for a few days and only barely paying attention. I kept seeing this guy on my timeline and never bothered to look up who this guy is or what he's connected to.
This is one of the weird names that kept popping up with the V3 dim set, which we never reported as news because every time it popped up anywhere it had entirely different names on it, and it was clear there were real names, but every store who had a sheet was translating it really fucking bad. Like,
I can see that.
Like, the names that popped up associated with this dim were Espimon, Ryudamon, Ludamon, Xvmon, Zubamon.
Jeez.
So this little guy is almost certainly going to be the V3 dim, which gets more confusing when you consider there was a V3 dim that was solicited to come out last year and never did. That was the quote-unquote Villainmon dim, where there was one that was just listed as Villainmon and then it never appeared again.
Yeah.
That theoretically is this dim, but who knows at this point what that means. I will say,
working on clipping the background out of this particular scan, and
good job.
My mom's like, "Danger, Will Robinson."
I forgot to mention, great job wasting your time on that for 3 different reasons.
I know they're going to release an actual picture in like a week. 1,
the magazine's out. 2, there's the actual picture in a week. 3, you didn't notice, even though I sent it to you, Tenya Yabuno uploaded a not quite clean image of it, but like a decent quality scan.
Oh, that's the one that I took it from.
Oh, you actually took it from that, not the photo?
Correct.
Okay, I thought you were cleaning up the photo you had said. Okay, that's different then. Okay, you use the good stuff.
I get that from like the nicer.
So I will say this. This image has me more potentially excited for Ghost Game than I have been in a while, and here's why. It does not fit in with Ghost Game at all. Which makes me want to go, hopefully something interesting is going on. Because this does not feel like it fits the look
Ghosty
of the character.
Horror.
I don't know. They can make anything fit in
the
horror.
No.
They could do a Dalek pastiche.
No, absolutely. I'm just saying if you stick this next to the characters we have, at best it might fit in with Jellymon.
Watch this be another one that shows up in the shadows next time Gulu shows up.
No, it kind of fits with the Thetis Jellymon, Thetismon evolution.
Maybe, but that's the thing.
We have spacey looking.
But that's the thing. We haven't seen what that's going to look like in animation. We already have 2 or 3 wildly different designs for that one so far. In animation, that may look entirely different than we think it will because we've already been surprised by that one a few times. So we will see what...
It looks kind of spacey.
Oh, it definitely does. But we will see what comes up with. The big debate right now seems to be squirrel or bear. I want to say visually squirrel, but it could be jelly. But it could be super deformed bear.
I don't know. It kind of had like a slime kind of feel to it.
Squirrel.
You're not wrong. Like if you make that green or blue, you could argue that's goo, like you were saying, Dev.
Yeah.
But we will definitely know what's going on with this guy at the absolute latest in a month. So we'll see. And then, oh, blessed be, it's DigiFest news. That just means that stupid people get to comment. So let's start. The day show.
Has any other news prevented stupid people from
commenting? No, but this is the one where it's extra stupid, and we all know why. So first up, the day part does not have the whole cast, so they're doing an extended music event. Character songs, classic songs, and the night show has a new Digimon Frontier audio drama.
I think the character songs is kind of that's a neat touch. I don't think they've done that before.
I think they did a bit of it during one of the last try ones after they did the character song albums.
Maybe. Although without the actors for Koji and Koichi, those two have the best songs in that. So.
Well, that's their fault for not showing up.
Yeah. It's like I was like, ooh, Frontier character songs, and then realized that Koji and Koichi were the ones missing.
Yes, which is why that's there. Yeah, and I'm gonna
go into the blue, not say yes.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say that Hiro Masaki will be writing the Frontier one, the Frontier audio drama, like he did last time. He knows how to take a victory lap for his shows, even though he was not the head writer. Then moving on, as we get closer to Survive, we get stuff. So first up, some new, not quite key art, it's poster art, but very neat. I don't know.
Really cool looking poster art.
It is very cool. It's very cool. I don't know why some people have been cropping off the bottom half entirely. So you get like the top, so you get like Takumi's head and above, and they've cropped out like the characters everyone actually knows about. I think they're trying to make it like widescreen for like some social media stuff.
Oh, they're like taking out
they're literally cutting it in half, and then the bottom half's gone.
Oh.
And that, so yeah.
I just proved your point. I can't remember the Falcomon guy's name. Minoru.
Look, I don't care what you say about not quite Koshiro, but I won't have you insult him. But yeah, nice piece of art. The only odd thing is I sit here and I want to say, man, it's been so long since we've had nice new art for Survive, except we got something just like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah. This is cool. It's weird.
It is.
Like
it's
this weird try adjacent.
My favorite part about this one is you can be 100% sure what piece of art this is based on. It's the try poster.
Oh yeah, totally.
And the funny part was people trying to argue it wasn't. It's like, no, this is 100%
totally based on the try poster.
Yeah.
I saw this and thought it was fan art that someone was trying to imitate the try style for Survive.
I didn't have time to notice that because I noticed it.
You saw it in more official capacity?
Yeah, I was scrolling through something and I saw it from a Bandai account.
Yeah, someone just put this on a Discord and I thought, ooh, nice like fan art.
No, because do you know how many times we've seen that try poster where someone has basically traced over or redrawn characters as characters from other shows?
Yeah, they do that all the time. Yeah.
And this 100% looks like someone did that for Survive, but no, this is 100% new and it looks very nice. I will say the best part of this for me is the very interesting gradient shading, which is ruined by the low bit depth encoding of the image.
Yeah, I could use a more detailed thing. It also doesn't put a lot of emphasis on the characters. Like, I'm still trying to get to know, like, the rest of the cast.
I need it with a higher bit depth so it doesn't have the dithering all over the fucking place.
Yeah, like I wanna.
Yeah, I was kind of looking to print it and hang it in my room, but it's just like, oh, never mind. This is gonna print like shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is one that even if I put through filters will not fix it, but I can try and see.
Yeah, like give me a high res.
Long enough, they might have a better resolution one popping up.
And then
give me a higher resolution so I can figure out what's going on with Miyu.
And then comes the Survive news that I had to be very mature about and not fuck around with because I really wanted to also. So at Anime Expo, we're getting Digimon stuff. Survive's going to be heavily featured. They mentioned game demos, giveaways, producer autograph sessions. There'll be a live stream. When they said the producer autograph session, I had to stop myself from going, I wonder what Digimon producer will be at Anime Expo. Even though that 100% has nothing to do with me at all.
I was going to say.
No, like that, like I was going to do it just to annoy people.
Oh, yeah,
because
totally.
Because here's the thing. The only people who get annoyed at stuff like that are people who I 100% don't give a shit about and who claim not to read our stuff anyways. And yet somehow they 100% always do.
Why, like, they...
Being in an abusive relationship.
Great if they just decided to do like a quick 2-minute segment on the adventure release.
So the interesting thing is they haven't actually announced a panel. So are they live streaming a panel, which can be done from the LA Convention Center and has been done for some Anime Expo panels? Or is it just there's going to be a live stream that day?
You crowd into a room to watch a screen.
I mean, they haven't even announced that. Although
just everyone just gets into a room to watch Habu flop sweat for an hour.
So let's go over this. Just Anime Expo's first 4 days of July. Most of the stuff will apparently be at Bandai's booth, so I'm assuming there isn't going to be that big Digimon corner space like we got a few years ago. Which that was interesting because that was the last in-person Anime Expo prior to COVID and everything. At that Digimon panel, they announced we got the first footage from Kizuna. They announced the title for the first time. They showed the final anime designs. They showed the anime intro to Survive and then announced the game was delayed. That was the first delay. They also announced that Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition was coming out. So, like, this is weeks before. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I'm saying I would hope they would plan better than last time, because here's the other thing. 2 weeks before Anime Expo last time is when they released that, like, mini documentary that talks about Survive coming out soon, and also for some reason has them talk about how people won't like it. The one where we just the one where we just went, I don't get what they're talking about. And then 2 weeks later it's like, wouldn't you hold this until, like, you had to have known at this point you were delaying the game. Don't release the documentary about how everything's going smoothly. Yeah. So we'll see what pops up there. Game demos. I'm very interested in seeing, because it's going to be at Bandai's booth instead of Toei's. I'm hoping they will, in fact, carve out a nice big space, because here's the thing. They have lots of nice art they can put up. And we'll see.
See if there's any fun swag.
I mean, does that mean I have to go and get something else signed by Habu? I already have 2 things. Because I have the original, I have the PS4 Cyber Sleuth and a Survive poster. So
maybe you can get a different signed.
I didn't hear what you said.
Maybe you can get a different Survive poster signed.
Well, I assume they'll give them away. That's where I got that Survive poster.
Yeah, maybe it'll be this try one.
No, here's what it should be. It should be the ultimate joke. Are you ready for what I'll bring? I'll go there and it'll be a Survive poster gets signed, and I also pull out of my bag Cyber Sleuth for Switch. Because I had Cyber Sleuth on PS4 signed last time.
Oh.
Why the hell not?
Yeah.
Follow your dreams.
Okay, so at this point we are about a little more than a month and a half. They have to start announcing the non-Japanese pre-order bonuses soon.
I hope.
Yeah. And then, wow, they really went hardcore with the Vital Bracelet news.
I'm actually happy with this.
So let's start off slow. The Vital Bracelet is getting a general US release as the Vital Hero. It is based on the Digivice V. There's a black band version and a blue band version. As far as we know at this point, it is recolored Digivice Vs. There's been some slight confusion about could there be a better sensor in there, which there's specific issues they actually need to deal with if they're going to release this in the US.
Bluetooth versus NFC?
No. They use a really cheap sensor, and if your skin's too dark, it doesn't read your heart rate.
That is...
Yeah. And that's why it, technically speaking, is not an issue in Japan. It came up occasionally, but very rarely. And with import stuff, they always just went, well, this is a product meant for Japan, so if it doesn't work, uh-oh.
Here, out of luck, not our problem.
Here's the thing. I don't agree with that logic, but that is logic they can get away with in that case. They cannot get away with the logic for a general thing in the US. That's not happening, period. So I would hope they upgraded the sensor. Otherwise, they're going to have some fucking problems. So the bracelets, as far as we can tell, like we're saying, they are just the Digivice V. The box, everyone complaining about if they don't like the design of the box, that's neither here nor there.
It's not going to be in the box for very long.
No, but the complaint that I'm looking at are the people keep going, why doesn't it have Digimon branding? Are they scared of it? It's like, motherfuckers, this is exactly how it was branded in Japan. Everything except the original Vital Bracelet box uses the corner tag thing. In fact, that's the same logo. The weird one's the Digivice V, which just has this really tiny Ghost Game logo. It's very, very tiny and odd, but I'm really not worried about the box, to be honest. It's fine.
Honestly, when I was looking at the box, at first, my first instinct is oh, this is a Nerf toy.
Well, here's the thing. It's probably the thing that seems to get some people upset the most, although I think it's one of the, I know I've said it, Humulos has said it, I know both of you have said it. This is not a real fitness tracker. It works. It is a toy.
Yeah.
It's baby's first fitness tracker.
And you know what this really looks like to me if you look at the box? It looks like it's something meant to go on a shelf next to an action figure. Ironically, a lot of action figures are starting to move to not having the plastic shell opening anymore. So
I wasn't planning to get one of these. I might interested in weighing getting one for Lucas though.
And that's the meaning. It's meant to be a toy.
I think he'd love this.
And that's really what the point is.
Yeah.
So the black one comes with Pulse City, which appears to be the US release of Impulse City. We will get to some of the confusion regarding that shortly. The blue one comes with a new dim card called Wolf Howl, which is Gabumon, Garurumon, Grumon Black. It looks like they took the Premium Bandai expanded, Mad Black Roar and the one with Shadow Howl. I don't remember what it was. No, the dark ones.
Oh, True Shadow Howl?
Yeah, it looks like they took those and they swapped out a few to make them slightly more anime specific. So it comes with that. There's also an Agumon one called Dinosaur Roar, but we don't know how that's coming out. And at least for now, Bandai's confirmed they're doing two. Then we have the dim card sets, which these are just the first three sets, but it's nice that they line up. The terms are even the same, which is neat. And everything will be out July 21st. The dim card sets are $20 for the 2-packs, which is reasonably fair, not that far off the Japanese price. It's slightly more.
It's not bad.
It's slightly more far off than it would have been a while ago because the exchange rates have gotten crazy in the last few weeks. This is the time to import stuff for anyone who wants to import stuff. It's some of the best numbers we've seen in years. And then the Vital
tempting me.
Yeah, the Vital Hero itself is $65.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so pre-orders for those open. Everything comes out July 21st. The main advantage at this point, because we don't know what's going to change, is everything uses an English interface, although that hasn't really been an issue because most of the Vital Bracelet stuff is imagery that's easy to recognize. The app's in English. And a few updates we've gotten is they've confirmed Japanese DIM cards can work on the Vital Hero.
Okay.
So that works just fine. There's been some confusion regarding reverse because of a tweet they deleted where might have been a PR person jumping the gun and commenting on something they weren't aware of. Then they've also commented a bit more on the device itself, where they confirmed that, yes, the programming is based on the Digivice V, and they call it by name. It's not just us guesstimating based on a feature list. They actually say Digivice V, but they also mention sensor improvement, which is a necessity, realistically. And then, because Bandai's PR team feels like they don't get the information they need, because they also mentioned that every DIM card is different than the Japanese ones, which does not seem likely or realistic to me, but we will see. Because that feels like that.
We'll figure it closer to the date.
Yeah, because that feels like that's a mistake, and what they mean is they're talking about stuff like Wolf Howl, which is an English specific version of a card that came out in Japan. Because I don't even know what you would swap out on Impulse City. That one's specifically made for those Digimon. You know what I mean? So I think that, yeah, so. And then we, right after, we started getting teasers for the Vital Bracelet BE. Where, they show a bracelet in silhouette, they show the letter BE, fitness with characters. We get a flash of 25th, which this is about 10 days before the 25th anniversary of the franchise. And then right before the show, they did more little teasers. The first was a tweet that teased new features, and it's effectively the same video as before, but there's one oddity with it. Did you guys look at that tiny little 3-second clip?
No.
They show a splash of water. Which is one of the sore points, because ignoring that they always made clear it was not waterproof, my understanding is its water resistance is exceptionally poor for the Vital Bracelet and Digivice V. They always.
You're gonna get it wet a little bit. You're gonna be sweating.
Yeah, my understanding. Here's the thing: they are always very clear it is not waterproof. My understanding is though is its water resistance is so poor, it fits, well, like we said, toy. And then the website was updated with an image teaser that said "Be partner." Those mostly teasing, hey, walking will lead to encounters with characters, a step into a new world. You can meet new characters, have them become your partner, and enjoy your daily life with characters. Basically stuff that could have meaning, or it could just be generic talking about Digimon or any other brand that could be involved. The one other noticeable thing is June 16th is also the first day of the International Tokyo Toy Show.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it being timed so good to the 25th anniversary may in fact have nothing to do with Digimon. It just may be so close in timing they're going to take advantage of that. One would hope that they would be smart enough to do some sort of DIM card or something like that. And then
I'll see what the new one looks like.
Yeah. And then they also You can tell they're getting a bit lazy on the raids for the Vital Bracelet app, though. It's a revival raid of Millenniumon, so that everyone can beat him up once again.
He'll go down like a little bitch once again.
What's funny is we can just keep making that joke because
it's everlasting.
I know.
It is timeless, like Millenniumon.
Well, he's not timeless because he gets beat up all the time.
And he gets beat up in every dimension at every time period.
And then we have card game stuff. So first up, they're doing an online version of the Evolution Cup in Japan, which makes sense because it looks like it's a slightly more casual one, but people can get put in a lotto to win the prize cards. And then they put up the little promo images of other events, which is what we call social media time filler. They don't have any cards they can show off, so they're just starting to put up promo images of stuff. And a bit before that, we got the pack artwork for Dragon's Roar and a few more details of that.
Which looks absolutely badass.
Yeah. The nice little artwork of Agumon, Vmon, and Gilmon.
It makes me think of
the progress.
Digimon World 3 packaging.
I think what we're supposed to think of is the Pendulum Progress.
That's not what comes to mind.
Because for the Dragon's Roar Pendulum Progress, they were the 3 child-level Digimon.
That one I don't think I ever had.
I believe it was not only that, the shape is not quite that shape, but it's somewhat reminiscent of it. And I think Chaosdramon was one of the ultimates on it also. So that may be, so that's definitely on purpose, but we'll see how direct that gets because we don't know. The card numbers are what we expect for a smaller theme booster plus 18 parallel cards, and that'll be out July 29th. They also did mention the 4 great dragons will be in it, and various cards here are being designed around strengthening prior dragon cards. I'm looking forward to the art for this one.
I like dragons.
Yeah. And then in the US, for the 2nd anniversary of the card game, which another few months and it will be there for the US, they're doing what Japan did for the 1st anniversary, which is vote for alternate art cards of cards that do not have ones yet, and the top ones will be in booster set 11.
Now, are they going to be making new artwork, or are they just going to be pulling from whatever the Japanese
These are specifically for cards that do not have alternate art already because they will be getting new art.
Okay.
Now, the only thing that I wish they would clarify, and I think the Japanese release did the same thing, it did not clarify if it counts if it's an alternate art that only is the same artwork. So, like, some of the Tamer cards have alternate art, but it's the same art on it.
Yeah, they just changed the background
and
slightly.
I think, and there were a few alternate art cards last time that we found out were in fact eligible, because the only thing I remember them clarifying here is, and I'm going to pull it up so I can get the wording correctly, they actually clarify one type of thing is not an alternate art card, and it's, where is it? Oh, did they remove that? 1 second. They may have removed it. Okay. Stamped cards don't count as alternate art, which I don't think there are any stamped cards that aren't alternate art cards. That's where, for a tournament, they might have the same card, but with 3 or 4 different stamps in the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have.
Winner, path.
There must be a few that I've just forgotten of, otherwise they wouldn't mention that. But yeah, so if a card has 3 versions from an event, that only counts as 1 card. They're looking at the art specifically, which is why the one thing confuses me, frankly, because whatever. Fun Digica did a booster set 10 match. Then earlier today they did a match with Murata P, the new producer for the Digimon card game. I feel like we've seen Murata P before. I think he was like an assistant producer before, because I could swear he's shown up somewhere. Because a month or so ago is when Goto P left, but I swear we've seen this guy before. I think he helped out on a few card game shows before. So they do a match against him.
The name is familiar, so he's probably popped up.
Yeah. I think he showed up on Classroom at some point to help with card game stuff. And then Card Battle decided that with booster set 10 out, the theme this time was Iwai's looking at how to change up his decks with booster set 10. So the others will suggest deck ideas to him. And of course, before the match, we get to see hand-drawn cards from Chiba. Chiba is the one who always ends up in the costumes. So Chiba showing off hand-drawn cards of Justimon. And I believe that's Shoutmon Cross 5. It says that, but the art, you can only tell because of the big thing of yellow. I love that so much. Like I'm
it's
like
a work of art.
I'm like gagging, laughing, and then anniversary stuff begins. Sort of. We saw 25th anniversary keychains of the V-Pets, and now we get them for the Pendulum. So these will be.
I fucking want all of these. So they are amazing. I love them.
These will be 300 yen in September. They do one color each for the 1 through 5 and the 0. 5.5 also gets one. It's very clearly based on the D1 Grand Prix version. Like, if you look at the image, you can actually see the D1 background.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say it, but that has to be a chase one, right? Like, that's not going to have equal distribution to the others. That's going to be like 1 in 100 or something. And on the
hard to say.
I mean, but if you're not going to do that as a chase special, why do it, I guess? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it is just a normal one, I don't see the point.
Especially because you already have another Metal Empire in the rotation.
Yeah. And then, if you look at the sales sheet carefully, a 25th anniversary franchise logo that we've never seen before. And I love the
Ooh,
not
I didn't
quite
even notice that.
I love the not quite minimal pixel art theme. So I hope that's final because I really like that.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, it really does look nice. And we should start getting more 25th anniversary stuff soon because it's only a few weeks away at this point. We're under 3 weeks. And then, how much of a fun surprise was it to get Ghost Game graph art stuff?
I wasn't expecting it so soon because they're just doing the Frontier one.
Well, I believe the Frontier one is officially scheduled for August, I think. So I guess they'll be going straight from this into Frontier. So we get... What's weird is some of the anime art, some of this I want to say might be new, but like that Jellymon image I know we've seen. I think that was on the box for her figure, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe. I was going to say, this is where, again, that's like the same... It's the same outfits and similar poses that even if it is new, it doesn't feel like it.
I feel like her expression's different.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen, like, Rudy especially looks... I don't think we've seen that before.
One sec. I'm finding an image of the Digimon Jellymon. I think these are pre-existing art. Why are there no photos of this toy? That would be the one I would expect. But
Jellymon, Jellymon looks kind of out of place, expression-wise compared to everyone else. That it does seem like it might be reused.
To be fair, I'd say Gammamon seems out of place also.
Gammamon just looks baby.
So the mini pop-up shop at graph art shops in Ikebukuro, Maine, Namba, and Nagoya. These will be mini pop-up shop corners between July 2nd and July 15th. They'll also be at their online store. They will also be taking pre-orders at the online store, so you can just walk right in and pick up your crap or have it delivered in August. So let's look at the products. We get can badges and keychains with the anime art, which...
expected.
What's weird is it feels the Gammamon one. It feels like they should turn him a bit, just
a little bit. Yeah,
it was like his paws aren't getting cut off.
Yeah.
Then I will say, even if the art doesn't quite fit in, I like the canvas art. It'd be nice if the art fit better. And then we get the sticky post-it note things.
I do like those. I got one of those with the Tamer's graph arts, and I do like those leather,
Yeah.
the
And then
pop-up or the post-it holders.
yeah, and then using the anime art, we get acrylic stands. They all look, I'd say the art works for all of them except Gamamon.
Yeah, I don't like the Gamamon. The Gamamon one's too small, and I think the Angoramon one is too big. Honestly,
I guess you're trying to go for like actual scale of the characters to each other.
Oh, it is.
No,
but
this is the actual scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah.
It doesn't really
yeah.
jive well.
And then we get the graph art, which is what everyone actually cares about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So first up, we get the little poster size art they show off with the evolution silhouettes behind them and the little items, which are always nice to see in these.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cute.
So we get can badges and acrylic keychains, which all of these actually fit in. Although I will say, I think it's because of the way she's shaped. On the keychain, does Jellymon look kind of weird?
She looks a little. It's probably because she's cut off so much.
Maybe.
Like she's thrown off to the side.
Yeah, and then we get a character mirror, a character case, which expected. The acrylic stands look great.
Those are what I want.
Yeah, those are great.
Where each one is a single stand for each duo, where you get both of them and the silhouette behind them. These are the high point items, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If they ever have these at a convention, I'm absolutely getting them.
I mean, I found the Tamers ones previously, so
yeah. And
there's hope.
If you spend 2,200 yen, you get a postcard. And as a promotion for the online store, if you order any of the blind pack stuff, you can virtually unpack the item to see what you will get without having to wait.
Oh, nice. Just a quick aside, actually, for those who are at conventions, I'm going to give a shout out to one vendor who does do a really good job of trying to stock these is a vendor named Fragmented Nostalgia. If you are at a convention and see Fragmented Nostalgia in the vendor room, check them out because they do a really good job of stocking Digimon stuff like this.
Well, the graph art stuff specifically is one of the few times I would say don't get it at a convention if you can get it ahead of time, because these ones are ones where generally a month or two later they just sell them as normal items at most stores online.
And they, with some of them, I've noticed that that Fragmented Nostalgia has actually been unboxing them and selling them like that as well.
Yeah, what I mean is the graph art stuff isn't store exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
Like they sell the retail cases that anyone can just buy, and you can just buy them. The only issue there is you have to be very aware what you want and be ready for when they go up. It is very much easier to be at a convention, see something, go, oh, I'm getting that.
Of course. I mean, generally with a lot of stuff, buying it at conventions, you're paying a premium.
No, absolutely. I'm just saying in the case of if you know you want the acrylic stands, for example, those will almost certainly be items that will get a general release, and just buy a box that probably will come with one of each or two of each, and then you can easily get rid of the others and make back basically any shipping premium that way.
Yeah, and that's just a general. I'm just saying that if you are looking for these at a convention,
I would expect the hot item at a convention would probably be the acrylic keychains in the graph art style. Because that's something useful. It's not going to be expensive even with markup. It has the unique art. I'm going to guess those would be the things that you'd really see at a convention and that people would buy. Man, that Angoramon one looks good though, I will say. The keychain, where he barely fits in the frame.
One floppy foot.
Yeah. And then more Ghost Game products. The plushies that we've been hearing about since, was that at Digimon Con when we first heard about these?
Yep.
Those are coming out soon. We can see them, and I will say this: they are very nice, low-cost plushies that kids can get.
Yeah.
I think the Jellymon one looks the nicest out of the set.
There's a flaw with the Jellymon one, though. And I'm not sure you want me to say it, because when I say it, you'll never be able to unsee it. if you look at Gamamon, you look at Angormon, those were made just for this, no doubt, correct? Is Jellymon Jellymon, or did they redo Toad?
God damn it.
Because if you look at the proportions of her and everything in the head, and now you will never not be able to see Toad.
I think the arms are different enough, but otherwise, yeah.
Oh, I have all 3 of these on order. I'm looking forward to these.
Yeah, no, I totally catch these.
Although I will say this is the one where it feels like the scale hurts Angormon the most.
It really does, yeah.
Angormon is the same height as Gamamon, and he's smaller than Jellymon.
Especially if you get that in a set, Angoramon's going to look weird.
Yeah, that's one of those where if someone doesn't before I get them, I'm going to take a photo showing the Angormon that's smaller than Jellymon.
Yeah.
Because his budget goes towards filling up the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And then talk about plushes, we move from those to the higher end small plushes, which people have loved every time there's been new ones. We get the baby Digimon plus Plotmon. These all look really nice. Like every plush in this line has looked pretty nice, to be honest. I would say, oddly, the worst one is probably Mochimon.
Yeah, his head his expression looks a little too high up.
No,
he's looking up.
Do you know why Mochimon looks bad?
He's like his neck is his non-existent neck is craned up.
Because
do you know? It looks like they started with one of the Pac-Man ghosts.
My comment was going to be slightly more inappropriate, but that works.
The VIP here is probably between Pokemon, Tokomon, and Plotmon.
I think Pyokomon's probably the standout here.
I don't know, something about the Pokemon I think is like a standout. Like, you don't imagine him getting a nice plush. Just like with the more complicated shape.
I could get only one of those 8.
Yeah. And then showing off the popularity plush charts, they're re-releasing 12, and you can tell the popularity here based on
the exact 12 you would expect.
Yeah, the 8 partners. Vmon, now to be fair, I think Vmon might have been the only 021 who even got one of these. Gilmon. Terriermon and Lopmon, who always appear in plushies and who always have the oddest branding because they will put them with Adventure, O2, and Tamers. And then
multitasking.
And then no Renamon, no Wizardmon. These are the exact ones you'd expect, and I still think that Palmon looks the funniest. Not in a bad way, but like where they've goofily detailed her.
She's very happy.
I love her.
And
excited to be here.
Lopmon wants to go home.
Lopmon always wants to go home.
These are all out. I think it was September. I've lost track of what I was reading. Okay,
At some point, you can have this.
Yeah. And the 8 babies sold out the next day on HLJ, which tells you how much people wanted them.
Hot damn.
People like babies.
Baby.
I wish they had at least gone slow enough that we could have known who sold out first. I feel like there's only 2 possibilities. Koromon and Tokomon.
I want them to make a Tokomon with the teeth.
To be fair, we do get toys with that occasionally.
I have one of the Digikodes with the Pokemon with the teeth.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing these because they look nice. And out late September. And then, oh man, it's a poll. Aren't we all shocked? Oh man, Aldemon won. It's truly shocking. And his percentage went up. So
people have no imagination.
Aldemon is 34%, which is expected.
Yeah.
Raihimon 17%. I said he was going to rank high.
That was more than I expected for that one.
Same. I thought he would have been like below Beowulfmon.
And then third and fourth place are nearly tied. Third place, we get Spinny Nipples which we all guessed would happen.
Yeah.
Jet Sylphimon. It sounds mean, but there's very little reason for Jet Sylphimon to rank highly. I don't mean that in a mean way, but like...
It's never shown up in anything except the card.
Yeah, and then Beowulfmon's 15%.
That's disappointing, but
we did talk about the weird design also. And then, oh, God bless, he actually ranked well in percentage. Daipenmon got 13%.
Really was Aldemon versus the field on this one.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Rhino Kabuterimon's the only one who has a bad showing. Everyone else is within a few percentage points of second.
Yeah.
Like, Daipenmon could have done better, but I will happily take 5th place, but with like a good showing.
13%. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
I mean,
he can have a snow cone.
Yeah. If you really want to like math it out, Aldemon and Raihimon were over 50%.
Yeah.
Oh man,
either main one or edgelord.
Yeah. And then let's not forget, polls open for the Ancient Warriors. I wonder. So here, okay, all joking aside, if you were to just guess your top 3 for that, what would you guess?
Can I just say Ancient Greymon 3 times?
I'm going to say Ancient Greymon.
I think Ancient Irismon's going to have to do okay.
I think it will be Irismon or Mermaimon. I don't know which. I do know I've seen some people talk about trying to balance stuff for Mermaimon.
Well, I think it's a good design in general, so I can see Mermaimon ranking highly.
See, design-wise, I feel like it'd be Ancient Irismon would rank highly, to be honest. It's gonna be Sphinxmon, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Volcamon might.
That one's pretty cool looking.
Ancient Volcamon might do okay.
And then, in confusing news, so let's go back 11 years.
This is a long setup for what's ultimately a non-story, but
no,
go ahead.
but like here's the thing: you can't like just jump out and say what this is because there's almost no context like for people. So 11 years ago, Digimon had no licensor in the West. It was Toei doing whatever they want functionally since Data Squad, which was them, even though it aired on a Disney Channel. And they hired William Winkler to do a pilot dub. And that was functionally the last we heard of it, and that's frankly all we ever expected to hear of it, because it was a pilot. It was effectively a dub being made so you could show at trade shows the show in English to people who speak English, or who at least are expecting to see English. Because a lot of the trade shows, a lot of California trade shows also have a lot of Latin America coming in, and it basically being done that way. I mean, we got cast lists from it and everything. And then Saban licensed it, and of course, we got a relatively standard Southern California dub. Not necessarily a good dub, but with roughly the cast and production crew you would expect, and plenty of new people. And then time goes on, and the fact that it exists is a random curiosity that has no bearing on anything, and technically still doesn't, to be fair. But then people looking around for stuff about it, because William Winkler did a lot of stuff for Toei at the time. He did a number of pilot dubs, and at one point they were also looking into taking some of their older shows that were unlikely to have long-term licenses here, re-edit them into movies to sell on DVD with new dubs. So he did dozens of those, but almost none of them came out. And I think Guy King, is the only one that came out in the US. The rest came out in Japan on a streaming service as part of a watch something you know from when you were a kid, and it will help you learn English. And this is the one where anytime we bring up certain things and I'll start going, oh, they'll dub a pirate as a pirate. That's why is his Captain Harlock, which was William Winkler, was, "Hey, me hearties, yo ho ho." And The only clip I've seen of that is actually him going, Amy Hearty's yo ho ho. Which is why I always do that, because that's actually in my head from that.
Wow. I didn't need to hear that.
And I'm Captain Harlock.
Okay, we can stop now. Let's not. We don't need to besmirch Captain Harlock further.
To be fair, that's Toei's fault. Although my understanding is it may have been like a project from one executive, and it basically crashed and burned.
That sounds like something that comes out of a bad abridged series.
Okay.
So because some fans have been looking for the Pretty Cure stuff for years, they found someone that apparently is William Winkler, or on his behalf, uploading production behind the scenes and stuff to archive.org, including a selection of clips from William Winkler productions. It's kind of strange though, because a good number of them are just intros where nothing's dubbed, and that includes the Crosswords Pilot Dub, which we knew that was Fusion Battles, which was an international name for the show. It is just the intro without credits, with the Fusion Battles logo quickly thrown over the Crosswords intro. Because at that point, here's the thing: at that point, the intention is not to spend money, because someone's going to license it and do their own logo, which was done with Fusion, as I recall, and even when this title was used for other shows, it is brought up properly. It isn't just thrown in.
Yeah.
And that's oddly it. That's oddly it. Minus that the same people looking stuff up found clips of him talking about the dubs and put them on YouTube from interviews from a few years ago. And he's very much not happy about it. He very much wants to talk about how great his dub is and how bad the release dub is. And I don't want to be insulting, but I've heard his work, and it's probably worse, at least in the sense of what anime stuff he was doing in there. This would have been a few months away from Har Har Fiddle Dee Dee.
Right.
And I don't mean
that doesn't fill me with confidence. Say what you want about the Fusion dub, it did have a good core crew of people working on it. It's a Mary Elizabeth McGlynn series. She directed the series, didn't she?
Yeah. I don't know if it was all of it, but she did do a decent chunk. It is fun.
She did enough of it, and yet she has enough of a career to go off of that. Insulting a Mary McGlynn joint is probably not the smartest way to.
It is functionally not the exact same crew, but an evolution of the same crew that did Tamers and Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly the same because time's passed. There's different setups, but it is a growth of a crew that worked on Digimon before.
Yeah, the choices are certainly questionable, but that might have been network stuff, and that might have been what that's probably what they wanted.
Yeah, that is the thing that seems to be hardest to get people to understand. 99% of the time, if there's something that happens and you don't like it, especially in a dub, it probably was not the director. That's probably what they were told. That's what they wanted delivered.
That was a production choice.
Yes.
The director and the cast are following orders in that.
And it's worth mentioning because he brings up the quality of his dub, so I think it's fair to discuss them more than just joking. Do you remember the old Tekkaman clip, the dub from the 80s where Space Lance? And he's just screaming?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
no.
That was an 80s dub of Tekkaman, and I believe it was dubbed as Tekkaman the Space Knight, and clips of that show used to be passed around as examples of bad dubs. That's actually his company from 35 years ago.
The redundantly named WWP Productions.
Yeah, that is his company. And at least at one point 12 years ago, when I was trying to figure out the Fusion Battle stuff, they said they were trying to relicense the show to re-release that dub.
Please.
I mean, that never happened, but
we don't need that.
Look, I'm going to find the Captain Harlock thing and send it to you. Because I have to prove that I'm not making that up. Because that's Because here's the thing. I know you guys.
Why did you do that to us?
Here's the thing.
I believe you. You don't have to do that.
Here's why. I know you guys believe me, but it sounds fake as shit. You have to admit that someone
doesn't.
that they did a Captain Harlock dub, and Captain Harlock is just dubbed as an old time cartoony pirate.
I watched the 4Kids One Piece dub. I know the extent of how this can go.
And it hurts my soul.
Did he indeed take a bite out of Gum Gum?
It's the name of the treasure on the Grand Line.
But yeah, so we still have nothing of the dub. It just sort of came up and was worth mentioning. Which is, do you think we will ever see a clip of it?
I hope not.
I hope not.
I hope we do, because here's the thing. At this point, he's talked about how great his dub is. One way or the other, I want to see a clip just to be able to comment on it without just like being pithy. You know what I mean?
The real dub turns Zenjiro into a weeb. This better top that if they're doing Pirate Harlock.
Well, no, here's the thing. Okay, so he was Pirate Harlock.
Yeah.
He's Ballistamon. Is Ballistamon a pirate? Or say, you know what Ballistamon's gonna be, right? I am a robot.
Oh God. I mean, Ballistamon does have a backstory with a Legmon, so
he is. But here's the thing: we're talking about like the first 2, 3, 5 episodes.
I know. I'm just saying that Ballistamon. The Ballistamon has canonically pirate connections. I'm just saying.
No, not pirate. I'm saying he's gonna be an old style generic robot. You know, like
totally.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger! I am a robot. And you can't see me, but I'm making the hand motions of a robot.
I feel like calling Kyle Bear to apologize in advance.
I really hope we get a clip of this, because here's the thing. As much as he does puff up his dub, as far as I know, every time he's brought up Larry Butler's Mad Leomon being very good and like very menacing, and it would be neat to see that, if only because that is the one person that no matter what comment gets made, he brings up. So at the very least,
very curious. Look, and if we want to, we can concede this. Like the original Mad Leomon was voiced by Vic Mignogna. So if we want to quietly scratch that off and replace that with Larry Butler, just as a concession, I'm okay with that.
No,
but that's as far as we go.
I want to hear it because he has talked about the dub before, and he always brings up different stuff about it. Every time he brings up Larry Butler.
I don't remember anything about Mad Leomon in Fusion, but I blame that on Mad Leomon. Just not that interesting. Mark, did you die again?
We've been abandoned.
We've been abandoned.
Forsaken!
Oh no! I don't know, is the stream still working? Oh. Stream is still working, apparently.
Maybe he's sneezing a lot and muting himself.
I think we died again.
Oh no!
Remember my intro where I said we hope to stay with you all this week, and then we didn't.
And then we didn't.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna give it a couple minutes here for Mark to show up again. It's really weird, though, that Mark would drop off.
Can you hear me?
Maybe he's like,
hey, welcome.
At us.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, the headset completely died. I don't know if they could hear you or me.
Apparently they could hear us, but not you.
Okay, it was completely dead, and then I'm like, oh, did I accidentally mute myself? I hit the mute button, and it doesn't light up or anything. I go, my headset can't be dead because something's going on, so I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. I assume they can hear me now.
Yeah, I think we're all back.
Yeah, I love that it's decided to have issues 2 times in a row, and completely different issues.
Yeah.
Okay, So when did I completely vanish to you guys?
Let's start talking about Road to Digimon, because I don't want to talk about WWP Productions anymore.
That's actually what I was going. We have
the card has switched.
We have more pre-production stuff to talk about. Am I wrong, or did they bring this up in January?
This sounds very familiar.
No, I mean they talked about that they were gonna do it, but then they just never did it.
Oh,
like it was like January, where like it's 0, and the first one's gonna be adventure planning documents, and then that was it for a long time.
Well, I thought we got a little something at the Digimon Con, but
no,
maybe I'm
no. Whatever we got Digimon Con was just a separate thing. They specifically teased
what we got was like a picture of Daisuke.
Yeah. It was specifically that they were going to show us stuff from when Adventure was being made. And then they just didn't. And now they have. So it's weird because they don't really give us much to go on. So they start off showing us the stuff for the new movie. Nothing which is actually new. I like how they so specifically place the papers, though. And then they give us...
Once again, we have a Daisuke.
And then they give us planning for a Digimon anime. Although, interestingly, we do not know how early this is, because the date would equate to mid-August. Basically, this would be the last time they could have pitched before it would have become Adventure. So we don't know if this is an evolution of an earlier pitch or this is dated wrong. And man, does that pitch sound horrible. The pitch, the main issue with the pitch to me is it sounds like any number of generic anime from that era that very few people remember.
It sounds like Monster Rancher.
I was going to say it sounds like Monster Rancher.
No, what I was going to say was, you know what this sounds like? It sounds like Melancholy Nights.
It also sounds like Melancholy Nights.
Monster Rancher was more interesting, at the very least.
It got more interesting. The premise sucks.
Yeah, and and as much as people are going, well, we don't know how successful this could have been, I don't think this would have been successful at all. And I say that because there's a ton of anime exactly like this that no one has ever heard of before.
Yeah.
It is very obvious why.
Many of which did get a dub eventually, but they also faded into obscurity eventually.
And this, ironically, probably would have been around the time when Kakudo was approached about being director. Yeah. And then we also get a proposal for Adventure with nothing super interesting here, minus that it reiterates stuff that has been said less formally. Like the Jules Verne story, which Kakudo's talked about in detail before, but it's never been... there's something different between the director talking about it and us seeing it on like a proposal. I'm trying to decide how much is there to actually talk about, because this is functionally just what the show is.
Yeah, it's just
but otherwise
you can see you get a feel for like the elevator pitch for the show,
and
it's all kind of neat.
Well, it's also not clear if this is even the quote unquote elevator pitch, because at this point they have finished artwork.
Yeah.
Like this
usually you have maybe a little further along than the elevator pitch, but
I would say at this point this is probably like explaining to business partners.
Yeah.
I think at this point the pitching is done.
This is the okay.
It says TV proposal, but like they already have marketing art and stuff there. You know what I mean?
Possibly. Sometimes you do come up with a little bit of art before.
You do, but this is a bit too. This is
too clean.
This is effectively identical to the final.
Yeah, those are the final designs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like there is almost, and it's a bit hard to tell because of how low resolution is. There are no actual changes here that I'm aware of. Like
it's they're minor at best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we've seen all of this art.
Yeah,
officially.
That's why I tend to skew to it being done, because at that point, that's from the anime character designer who Nakatsu. At this point, it's not pitching; it's the show. Yeah, a lot of stuff we've seen before, and don't you love how they end by showing us more of the O2 playing document, which has nothing that's helpful.
Like, hey, we're still doing a thing.
It's like this still exists.
Yeah. And do you think part 2 will have anything relevant?
No.
I would agree with that. And then last time we got to see sample art of Dreamers from when Tenya Yabuno was drawing it. We got to see the final one now.
I need to catch up on Dreamers.
That cute little Pulsemon. And then you get the profile art of Asuramon and Kongomon from the episode. Something is wrong with this art. There's like a haze over it.
Yeah, like a slightly grayish kind of. Like the blacks aren't like crisp and pure like
exactly.
they usually are.
It's slightly off. And then we have
some of the upload art has been like that once in a while, where it's just like but there's like an extra layer over it.
But those are normally art layers at least. This is just a weird haze.
Kongomon was cropped directly from the episode, and that's the most detail they could get from him.
And then questions, you guys in the chat can throw yours up. There's probably a few from last time that didn't get done. We'll do source first. They want to know, how did we meet? I believe I met AR when I was looking for a one-off co-host, and he tweeted at me, I believe, like, raise his arm or something.
Yeah, that was basically it.
Tier dish tribute.
You wanted looking for a podcast host. I'm like, sure, I'll give it a whirl.
I've known Dev long enough. I don't actually know how I met Dev at this point. Like, I don't remember. It obviously had something to do with Digimon, but do you have any memory of it, Dev?
I don't fucking remember, because it's been so long. I guess it's just kind of like when you kind of took over with the will, and I was there, and back when they had the Scanleaf group.
I think we knew each other before that, but not like just occasionally running into each other.
When it was still Meg-chan's Digimon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a couple weeks ago, some of my panel stuff got a little bit of Twitter momentum, and someone from Meg-chan that I hadn't talked to in like 15 years randomly messaged me, saying, "Hey, I remember you."
And then there's the deep first time AR and Dev met 5 minutes before we started the show.
Yep.
That one I know for sure.
I really remember, because my memory is a save.
Yeah. And then Diego wants to know, now that I'm a Digimon producer, will I like Volcano Oda cameo on Ghost Game? And if so, what Digimon would I like to voice? And then he goes, if his Japanese is not that good, what camera role would I like to have in a yet-to-be-dubbed installment? No.
If his Japanese is not that good, have you heard him pronounce stuff on the show?
That's the funny part. Is like, one, just no, and two, I've already been in a dub at this point. I'm good. Unless I'm cameoing for something stupid, I'm very much good at not doing more at 3 a.m., trying to do it while also trying to not, like, throw my voice to wake people up. So, I'm good with that. If I were to get a cameo in a yet-to-be-dubbed thing... So the problem is, I'm trying to think of people like who aren't actual characters, because like,
it's like it's a cameo role. It assumes it's somebody that hasn't actually appeared yet.
Yeah, but it's like when you try to think of the wacky, stupid stuff I could do, you don't want me as like the grandpa in Appmon who actually has lines.
Right. Like, he's a character.
Yeah.
He's a minor character, but he is a character.
You want to be someone walking by with coffee who says one thing and then just is never seen again.
He's somewhat of Angoramon's confidants. You can be Mushmon.
No, Mushmon has lines. I demand unhelpful lie. single line.
Wait, you should be like the random Potemon that's just running around the alley.
You should be the victim at the start of the episode.
I can scream well. I don't do it often, but I can. And then Ian wants to know, what do we think is more likely to have a bigger update? Oh, what do you think will have bigger updates for Adventure 2020, AX or DigiFest? If you were to flip between those two, AX.
Yeah, probably AX.
Because here's the thing, as far as we know, not only is DigiFest not streaming the West, we don't have any proof there's any streaming thing for it, so there's no reason to have anything West at all.
Right, because Digimon Con was a global thing, so they were going to try to feed a little everybody.
Yeah, so...
But yeah, it would probably be AX, not necessarily at the streaming panel.
Well, here's the thing. If there is a streaming panel there, I would assume it will just be a Digimon panel, like the last time.
Yeah. But we don't know that is going to be a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing is
just that Bandai is specifically doing a thing.
No, Toei's thing is on there also.
Oh, Toei's okay.
It has their little badge there, and so
yeah. Then I'd lean very more heavily towards AX.
Yeah. Then AR is one for you. Have you pre-ordered Digimon Survive yet?
Not yet. I will though.
What system? Switch?
I haven't decided whether to do it Switch or PC yet. It's gonna be one of those two though, and it might come down to the bonuses, ones I want to do.
Yeah,
but I'm actually, now that I think about it, probably leaning towards PC, because if I put a Digimon game on the Switch, Lucas will want to play it.
Oh, you're gonna get your save deleted.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a great idea for Survive. Well, he's good with, he has his own profile, so we're good on that front.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah,
it's like he's gonna want to try to play Survive, and just the text-heavy content and trying to play an SRPG just doesn't seem like a great idea.
Yeah,
for a 6-year-old.
And then someone wanted to know, they've seen some live podcast do rehearsal or warm up, and they were wondering if we do it before the show. Not as such.
Not we start on purpose.
Yeah, we start the call early, as you'd expect, just to make sure everything's working. And of course, we can't take into account that apparently there was a power surge that knocked my headset out in the middle of the show, which is very odd.
We don't warm up on purpose, but sometimes we get into discussions related to a topic on the show, which we realize like 5 minutes in that we should save for the podcast.
Yeah, but yeah, we don't. We make sure all of us can hear each other.
Think about how our week has gone.
If there's any oddities, we attempt to deal with that before we're ever live. So yeah, we all go get drinks. My catchphrase at this point is functionally the instant that I'm sure AR is there is like, okay, I'll be back in a minute. Back.
Yeah.
Because I go off to top off my water and everything.
Which I'm now out of, so let's wrap this up.
Yeah. Someone wants to know, what series do you think handled evolution sequences the best?
Tamers.
Sequences as in like the animation styles, or sequences in like evolution in general?
I would say evolution in general, because there was detailing that I didn't keep in the question where they talked about, people complaining about Ghost games being so short and such. Okay. So I think they mean like the idea of the sequence and how it was handled, rather than like just which do we personally like.
It's probably still Tamers.
I really liked 0-2s, to be honest, because they had different visuals and different stylings between them.
Yeah, 0-2s was solid.
Yeah,
they got the point across, because they have a bunch. They have like 3 different styles of evolution. So, and not only do they have the different styles, but each of the different ways of evolution gets a different theme song, not necessarily what level you're going to.
And I would give 2 pseudo notes. One, if Atmon had proper music and not just like screeching noises.
Wub wub.
I would like Atmons.
Mm-hmm.
And as kind of, they're not bland, but they're very similar. I really like the Cross Wars ones.
The Adventure 2020 ones were actually pretty nice as well.
Adventure 2020 did it well in the thing that probably upset people the most, which is it knew not to do them for everyone every time, but there should have been times when other characters did get the nice ones.
Yeah.
Like, it knew that, if you
Yeah.
had 8 characters evolving, you don't necessarily want to sit there and have a minute of evolution sequences.
When 2020 was on its game, they were really good, but it was a little inconsistent.
Yeah. I think you cut out there, AR.
Oh, yeah, it's just no, it's just it was a little inconsistent sometimes when sometimes they didn't do enough.
Yeah, okay, the end part was all that was missing. But yeah, so and then Ramon wants to know what was in. I was in, co-directed and co-wrote some fill-in dub material for Ninja Robots. I don't remember the Japanese title at the moment. It was a dub
Did you do the I am a robot voice?
No, I was not playing a robot.
Oh, okay.
There are little to no.
I mean, you could have done the I am a robot voice anyway.
No, because what
full Ballistamon.
So normally I would have. I could not in this case for a very actually real reason. It was a dub that was recovered from basically any tape we could find around the world, and one 30-second scene was all that was missing in the end, after months and months of looking. So I was like, fine, I will write fill-in. Brady, who also does stuff for Discotech and is doing stuff on Sonic Origins, he helped remaster that, co-wrote it, co-directed it. So I'm one voice. Brady's one voice because he could not find another person so that he could eject from it. And then we also got one professional voice actor to play the main guy. And we all had to sort of kind of be close enough to the original actors that it almost worked. It was a very comical dub in the first place, so it worked well.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's literally one scene, and when we came up with it all, you're recording stuff 100 times because we're not professional, and it's just finding the best thing. Brady was apparently very excited by the way I went woo.
Woo.
Because I would go woo, and I would do that. So like there's 2 or 3 of them interspliced with my dialogue because he just was so amused by it. And
so you're doing Ric Flair basically.
I did not watch enough wrestling. I know who Ric Flair is. I do not know his noises.
He does woo a lot.
Okay, then yes. And then someone wanted to know, with the problems we've talked about with the VGS and Amico, do we think there's a market for a game system outside the main 3? First off, absolutely yes. We've talked about other systems that we think actually worked. Like I was getting the one with the little crank on it. And there's the I don't remember what it's called, the retro one that we've talked about a couple times. See, I think these were related because I can't even find the name. But yeah, there's one that's a small portable system that you can buy cartridges for that come with retro game packs, the Evercade. And there's a home version. And I think the next part related to that because someone wants to know, can you explain people arguing about how to pronounce tate? Tate is Japanese for vertical, and shooters have vertical screens.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's where this I
does
know.
Does that stand for something in Japanese or
vertical?
Or does that stand for something? Oh,
I believe that is Japanese for vertical because you actually have the monitor turned a different way.
It's the all caps that threw me off there.
And then see, I don't spell with all caps, but some people do. I think that that one was copy pasted.
That makes me think it's an acronym and not a word. But yeah, if that's the word, it's tate.
So a lot of people, even who aren't English speakers but who know English, call it Tate. And people argue about it, and I've actually seen people argue about it. And the best explanation for this was guy who runs a show called GameSack. He will only call it Tate, and he will just refuse to call it Tate. And I've seen people argue with him about it specifically. That's why I was so happy to throw it in. No, are you ready? People kept going, well, no, Tate means vertical. Why would you call it Tate? And he'd say, rotate.
No.
And I think these are related because the Evercade came out with one where a portable where they had the button set up so you could actually hold it 90 degrees. So I think it's that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could do it 45 degrees in Marble Madness.
Did you see that they found a working copy of number 2?
Ooh.
And then Sora wants to know if I've started Blue Reflection. No. I do own it. I do not expect to have the time to play it anytime soon, realistically. I'm cartoonishly busy. And then this is last chance for the chat because it's the last one we sent in. Someone wants to know, for the anniversary of Digimon Frontier, what product do you think is reasonable for us to see that would make the anniversary a success for fans?
Super CSA?
Now, here's the thing. They said reasonable. Super CSA, I feel like, doesn't count for one reason. They've already teased that. Like, if we didn't get a Super CSA, even if we got stuff we want, wouldn't it feel a bit let down that we didn't get one? Because it feels like we are.
That's an acceptable answer, though, because it feels like...
Oh, we definitely need that.
It feels like, yeah, it feels like that the pace they're on is already good for Frontier. Like, I think there's just a couple pop-up shops, get the nice little new drama in at Digifest, and yeah, the CSA at the end. That's enough, I think, for Frontier fans. I think they'll be happy with that. Maybe whatever little extra,
like a
figures
gem
or something.
figure.
Yeah, figure or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a gem or precious gem. The issue is I'm trying to figure out like who, because do you go all out and do a $250 Susanumon holding the gun?
It really doesn't, like, just announce something. I don't think it's not like Tamers. It's not like Tamer fans, being super demanding and needy and stuff.
Oh, I just thought of what they could do. 1 second. You keep talking. I just thought what they can do. I'll find a picture.
I just think that Frontier fans are less needy and demanding than Tamers fans, and what they're offering now is good enough for Frontier fans. I think they're happy with the current offering. Okay, and at least the pace they're on for the current offering.
Okay, you know how they're re-releasing the Running Taichi and they're doing a Running Yamato?
Running Takuya?
No, just do the 6 kids from the Blu-ray cover.
That's asking a lot.
Yeah, 6 is too much, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
At least give us Running Bokomon and Neimon.
With the Patamon.
Maybe. I don't know, because that's from the Blu-ray cover, so it's not quite as iconic as some of the old designs and some of the old posters. I would rather go for something aping one of those.
Yeah.
Ooh, Trailmon. Yeah, do a Trailmon figure.
The problem is it has to be something else to sell, and I don't think Trailmon's gonna sell. Unless you have like the kids on it or something like that.
Maybe, or something like that.
And at that point, it feels like it's getting too detailed.
Yeah, maybe.
But
maybe you included Trailmon as a backdrop or something for another figure. I don't know.
Trailmon Ball.
Just add a add a trail. Is add a random. Include a Trailmon as part of a future.
Oh my God! No, the Super CSA. There's random buttons you hit that makes a random Trailmon appear.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then last question was.
And it says "woo."
The last question was someone wanted to know if we've seen. AR, you say this. I'm not going to say this correct. I know the show, but I'm not going to say that correct.
Oh, which one?
Asking if we've seen a specific show.
Oh, Ochamacho Doremi.
I have not. I'm aware of it. I mean,
I watched like 2 episodes of the 4Kids dub, and that's all I got.
I believe that was.
The 4Kids did a dub of it for very briefly on Fox.
I believe that is Seki Hiromi produced show. I believe.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Never seen it.
Was there a movie of that last year? They did like an anniversary film or something, didn't they?
I don't know. It seems like they always just come out with random Ochamajo stuff. It's kind of recurring franchise, kind of like a bunch of other young shoujo stuff.
That would make sense. But yeah, that is like a sibling series to Digimon.
Little bit, yeah. It's kind of it's like a young Precure.
Yeah. I think you cut out again, AR.
No, I'm just trailed off.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Okay, that's it for questions. AR, have you done anything? Will you be doing anything?
We actually are talking about, my spouse and I are talking about bringing back our old My Spouse Watches series. Like we got like halfway through Data Squad and kind of cut out. We're thinking of kicking it up again with Appmon. We're trying to figure out what we want to do, if we just want to do a Twitter commentary again, or if we want to do something more interactive. We're kicking around ideas for that, but we might start that. We might start that back up again next week.
Are you saying that Data Squad was the series that they couldn't get through, and now you've just moving on from it?
No, well, it's like I'd have to basically. It'd be weird to just start at the second half of it. Like we're open to doing Data Squad. We like it just fine. We stopped doing Data Squad because that was when I had to start reviewing Appmon for System Restore, and it was just too much Digimon at one time for me to go through. So now that it's kind of gone back to once a week, I can kind of open it up to other stuff. And they want to see some of the other series, so we're thinking of doing Appmon.
Okay,
but we're trying to think of some ways to do it other than the Twitter commentary. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read?
Go to Kugamon because it is the baby.
I don't think you get to do that twice in a row, Dev.
But it's the baby!
I don't think you get to go twice in a row, just pick the Digimon that's showing up in the next episode.
It's the baby!
Should do Kongomon so we actually know who he is.
He did nothing. He was just a closet.
He was the TARDIS.
And I can be found at Wittable as always. We will catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Woo!